The World Affairs Council of Northern California is committed to engaging the public in the exploration of international affairs. The Council Schools program gives students the unique opportunity to meet with heads of state, ambassadors, and the academic experts who visit the Council. The following video is taken from our year-long Student Ambassador Leadership Group. Students were asked to take on the role of a country or group to discuss the effects of climate change and propose solutions. What they found was an incredibly diverse set of needs, perspectives, and obstacles to tackling climate change. Their solutions only represent a fraction of the answer, but the following presentations by the young leaders demonstrate that they are thinking broadly and are actively engaged in addressing some of the world's most pressing issues.
Hi, my name is Nancy. I'm Jillian.
I'm Ashika, and we are the head of state of the small island nation, Tuvalu. We have a small population, and we are located in the Pacific Island region. Like I said, we have a small population, and global warming is severely threatening us with a number of conditions, mainly due to rising sea levels that are threatening our agriculture and our land. So now the past few years, we have been seeing the effects of global warming. We are seeing king tides that are pretty much at their peak right now. They have been affecting our land in terms of our coconut trees. Many of them have been partially submerged, and small patches of our cropland have been rendered unusable at this point because of the salt water that's contaminating our land. And pretty much us as heads of state have pretty much assumed the worst. We know that sometime in the next 50 years, if rising sea levels, as we predicted, actually end up happening, our population will have to either be evacuated or we're going to have to do some serious reforms. The ocean could essentially swallow up our land if we don't make dramatic changes now. And we don't want to be an island in a wonderful country that's wiped off this nation. So our island, has historic opportunity at this point, much like New Orleans in the United States. We have an opportunity now to actually build a green-friendly environment and serve as an example to the wider international community. In the process, it allows us to address the problems of global warming and create a nation that is stronger economically, physically, and culturally for our citizens. The following proposal we will show you has developed as a guide to the solutions we can take to enhance the environmental and social issues of our nation. This holistic approach promotes equitable solutions in addressing the issue of global warming, create a stronger and more self-sufficient nation that will be green ready for our families and for the future.
Well, as the heads of the state, we feel that it is a necessity for the government, business, and the local community to cooperate together to take action. First and foremost, we feel that the government can implement new regulations and policies to reduce the greenhouse gas emissions that's threatening to our life and also our environment right now. So instead of direct control over the economy, we feel that the government can encourage investment in businesses that can promote eco-efficiency, a green economy, or the manufacture of products without doing environmental harm. So for example, we can encourage voluntary programs and partnerships in this area. The growth in business of renewable energy, biofuels, and infrastructure upgrade will greatly contribute to overcome the challenge of these financial constraints. And so we can use the existing technologies and renewable energy resources to reduce the emissions. And our goal is to make this effective as possible and to reduce the financial restraint. Furthermore, we feel that the local communities can join in with this alliance to combat the impacts of climate change through public awareness and active campaigning. We feel that the increase in public knowledge and awareness about this issue will gain a lot more support for the government and also the new policies that we're trying to implement. And of course, the public would also be informed of practical and everyday measures that they can take, as Ashika will mention later. So although it may be hard to decrease the consumption levels, but we feel that people in our island can at least be eco-consumers and with a growing awareness of this problem. In addition, we can also initiate campaigns such as to grow more forests on the island and also to have eco-friendly transportation. And after that, then we can take this to other communities as well.
Okay,
So next, our community can take this to the next level, to a fellow island or another country or even the neighboring continent. We would show them how it affects us and how it could affect them, and then we could promote our policies of such as energy and fuel efficiency and the government set ceilings over businesses, as we mentioned before. Due to the simplicity of our solutions, it would be pretty easy to successfully impact them too. And at this point, the government of our neighbor would be able to get involved and help us implement these new policies. Then we would all repeat the same process with the next community. And finally, with all of us working together step by step towards a cleaner environment, we could start a global trend. In this effort, resources and assistance of the international community will be required. The international community, as members of our human family, needs to collaborate to combat global warming. And although our solutions won't show immediate results, every nation, including Tuvalu, will need to adopt these solutions as permanent and sustainable solutions for the benefit of our global community.
Great. So one of the things both heads of state here have emphasized on is that a lot of our solutions are community-oriented, they're small, and they're something that can be easily replicated in other nations. And so therefore, collectively, we can solve our global warming problems. So some of our policy recommendations, and more specifically the actions that we will start to take, are one, is to provide higher density housing. As we've mentioned, flooding can be a potential issue for our country, so we want to identify areas that are suitable for higher density housing, and so these areas will be higher on the ground where elevation can be raised and protect these buildings from future flooding and rising sea levels. We also plan for solar electric systems. So it'll be a solar roof program where we will use rooftop photovoltaic systems on new homes and other city buildings. And basically how these buildings would function is that they would generate power so that if a flooding does happen, we'll have backup generators and battery power to sustain us for a while in case we're in trouble. We'll also have solar water heating, and also with this, we want to provide incentives to homeowners, schools, businesses, and other community groups to install solar water heating systems in their buildings. We also want to do a day lighting program where we'll design buildings and schools with natural day lighting so that they can be used without power during the daytime. In addition, we want to conserve water, and there's a number of ways we can do this. One is by incorporating water-conserving products such as high-efficiency toilets, dual-flush toilets, low-flow and sensor-activated restroom faucets, waterless urinals, and all that stuff. And then we also want to manage our stormwater because we know flooding and storms will be a problem for us, as it will be for other nations as global warming continues. So, and also because rising sea levels are a threat to our agricultural land, what we can do to prevent this is have porous pavement and surfaces on our land so that what will happen is that, like, the stormwater will actually get absorbed and then we can collect it and use it again. And then also just to use green building materials for our buildings and other infrastructure we plan to do. And I think that's pretty much it for our policy actions. If you guys have questions, let us know.